Welcome, welcome back to Mama's Healing.
Hi.
I'm Rain. Lilo's Madre.
I'm Julia. I was a hangry beast earlier today.
I'm Janelle. Still here.
I like to see everybody showed up. Thank you for joining us. We made it back. Okay, check in. How's everyone feeling? How's everyone doing? I feel good. I am so close to the end of the semester. I'm getting through. Picking up extra shifts. It's good. It's good.
For me, this week was really crazy. This is like my first week live at my job. So like I actually had sessions and work to do and due dates. And I was very hard on myself. My boss was like, she literally said, lay off the throttle. I was like, I'm sorry. She's like, you need to like give yourself some credit. So
Love
yeah.
that.
That's a nice boss.
She's awesome.
I'm good. I am great with my boys. I love my job. I'm killing it in school. But some people just be tested. They be tested.
They be peopling.
Sometimes I fail it
You
bad.
be failing your test.
I be feeling it hard. But yeah, other than that, can't complain really. Good stuff.
Love that. Well, okay. Before we get into that, because that's gonna be a segue for us, let's tap into some pop culture. Do you guys have anything specific? I have a couple things that I'm always ready for pop culture.
Zendaya's movie, that Challengers. Yeah, I am so here for it and very excited.
When is it coming out?
I think April 26th.
Okay.
I think. I don't
So
know.
like next weekend?
Yeah, next week.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks really good.
Nice.
Can't wait for it.
Are we gonna?
I would go to the theater for
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Are we
Anything
gonna?
I'm like,
I'm not streaming that.
I feel like we can make a date out of it.
Yeah,
Out of that, yeah.
definitely.
Cool.
I've been liking the outfits that she's wearing. I think the last one I saw was like, I don't remember the regular color, but there was like a black netting in the front. I was like, she's so glamorous.
Eilish, I
Yes.
love her fashion. Like from just like ever ago.
Consistently, but so like diverse. Like it's never the same, but it
Yeah.
always looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's well styled, and I feel like it's also like, yeah, I think she has a team, but I think she also has like, she knows how to style herself too. Like I feel like it's ingrained in her too. Like she's not just like, oh, put clothes on me. She's like, this is what I like. This is what looks best on my body. Like, what a queen.
She kind of reminds me in that space of like Rihanna. Like they've been, famous for so long. Like they were both teenagers, so they know at this point like what looks good and what doesn't.
Mhm.
So it shows. Love it, love it, love it, love it.
The only pop culture thing I had, because I'm not even sure if we talked about it before, but like Diddy's homes being raided. Did we talk about that?
Diddy.
Oh,
His home is a
do
plural.
we like that?
I love that.
Oh,
I love justice.
the way she said it was like,
oh no, I was like,
Got rated.
yeah.
I love it.
All of them, right? Doesn't he have a couple of them?
All I know is that it was at least 2, because it was like in 2 different time zones. I was like, wow, coordination.
I don't know.
Coordination.
Yeah, they said we don't want to like give out any notice. I know they arrested a couple of people, but I don't know if they are still arrested or if it was just we have questions. Come with us.
Also, referencing sorry, it was like something directly in my eyeball. Referencing justice. That did y'all see that Trump is in courts? The last update I heard is that they've picked the jury, and now they're just waiting for I think they need like a few alternates. But he kept falling asleep in court in front of in front of the judge. He keeps being like, Biden's court is blah blah blah, and the people that I follow that are covering this are like, it's a Manhattan court. Like that has nothing to do with Biden. Like these are real jurors. This is a real ass judge. These are real attorneys. Like, so it's a good day for justice.
Oh my gosh, to be on that jury.
I know.
I would be like, I have no bias. I think justice is cool.
They do thorough checks. They're like, they check their social media. They look, they have like fact checkers. Like one story was saying that a guy lied about being arrested before, and then it found out he was arrested, but I guess it was a while back. So he was like, I don't know. They kicked him right off that jury.
Oh, like you said, he wasn't arrested, but they're like, 20
We
years
found
ago,
out
you
he was.
did.
I can't wait. And this is about the hush money case. So like the how he paid off certain women to not tell stories, but then like wrote it in his or his accountant put it down as like legal fees. But it was all to not impact his running for president the first time. So this is from a while back. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see how that goes. Right?
Okay.
And oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The news outlet. I wish I remembered what it was. But they're hilarious because they're talking about how he's like, the judge won't let me go to my son's graduation, and this is an outrage for Americans. And then the guy who's like following the story was like, please note that he missed this child's graduation, this child's graduation, and he was sleeping with one of the alleged people he paid off while his wife was in labor with Barron. So I was like, but you care about his graduation all of a sudden. Okay. So that's all I got for my pop culture.
Basura. So, okay. I just started watching this Hulu show. You guys both know Shan Boodram.
I don't know anybody.
Is that with was it High Hopes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that. What is that?
So her husband, what is his name? I'm blanking, but like he's like a musician, and she's in a lot of his content. So Shan Boodram is a sex educator. She started on YouTube. She's got some books. She's been on
About to Google
various shows. She's on Instagram. She's really, really, I think, really popular and well known. She focuses on just like education and
she's beautiful. Oh my God.
Yes, isn't she? So
wait, are you saying Shannon?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's stunning. No, I never heard of her before.
So her husband works at some dispensary in LA, and they just released a reality show. Okay. And so it's a reality show of this like really big dispensary in LA that's going corporate. And like they're talking about like, yeah, when California first went legal, it was the Wild West. Like we had cash, it was all cash. Like it was just very like chaotic and just, stoners trying to run a business. And now it's like they've got uniforms. They have a manager who's like, she's real cool. She's like, we don't smoke at work. And so like the stoners are like, what? We can't smoke here.
Can I smoke before work?
So it's actually very interesting just seeing the dynamic, but she's been on in a couple of episodes because, it's his family. But if you're into that sort of thing, it's a fun little reality show. Yeah. Yeah. So I recently have decided, because it was actually a conversation I had with Madre, that I'm going to register as a Green Party.
Why?
Because they align with my views and my values.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Are you familiar with the Green Party?
Is that green?
Is that the
from
Independent Party?
It is an independent, and it's like environmental,
Oh, okay.
but it's environment. It's basically what Republicans should, or not Republican, Democratic should be like to get
Pushing.
change.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's what they should be pushing.
Yeah, it's like the progressive Democrat is like how I look at it. Social justice, environmental, all of the things.
I like that.
Check it out. Green Party. It's very small. It's only like 20 years old, but
Gotta start somewhere.
yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah.
So let's get into this topic, right?
Oh, okay. Excuse us.
Like enough of the
fucking chit chat.
Well, you can
I'll
settle down.
I'll wait my turn.
So,
what's the topic, ladies?
this has been a topic we've been waiting on for a while. We had to really process it, but we're going to be talking everything in-laws. So just to kind of control the conversation, let's talk about our experiences with our in-laws, in the beginning when it was just a partnership, and then how does the dynamic change once you have children? What is your kind of relationship now? And yeah, and I also wanted you to specifically like to kind of touch on like raising your children in like a mixed relationship, since you are dealing with like the in-laws in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'll start you off.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
So okay. So me and Curtis.
I thought you were gonna start us off, ma'am.
Like, how am I gonna start? Okay, so I love my in-laws.
Let's all preface that.
It's a very it has been a complicated relationship. So I know like when we were dating, because he was still like living with his family, they were all there all the time. So it was very interactive. Had some run-ins with the siblings, his sisters specifically.
Not run-ins, Jesus.
Not me being 5'5", trying to like up with his almost 6-foot sister.
In their house.
But a couple times. Yeah, like once. But and it really is like, and I understand it. We just are very different personality-wise. Like this particular sister, she's just a little more spicy, so her energy level just jumps real easy.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a little defensive too.
I'm like that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. And so I think it was just a matter of like, and then I wasn't helping, like looking back now, like this is almost 10 years ago. So it's like, I was younger, not a great partner in that retrospect, but yeah, just different, just coming into that dynamic because there's so many of them and they're super close. And they looked at me like I came in and like I changed him because now he's doing different things. He's not engaging in the same activities that he used to. And it's like, but like, is it that change? Like, like now we have a baby, like working consistently, having our own place. But I think that was just a hard shift for them to like grasp. As far as the siblings, I don't think his mom was resistant to that.
Yeah.
But like with the siblings, like they would be kicking it and drinking, and then it was like, yeah, he went back to school. He started working full time. Like it's just different. So that's always a thing that now we have that dynamic of if there's a conflict, he has to address it because I'm not going to be the one to have that conversation. Because whether or not it's true, what I'm feeling is not going to be received well because it's coming from me. So it's always like, okay, when we go out to California, if blah, blah, blah happens, I need you to do this. Like, I need you to be prepared. And it took how many years before we got to that point where I think he understood it. Because we would talk about it, but it would only be like in the moment. And it's kind of too late at that point, you know, without it feeling like, are you not going to say something to them? You know, it's got to be more like, hey, as Curtis, I see what's happening and I'm stepping in.
Taking that initiative.
Yeah, because then that's like a big part of it. It's like, oh, she's the one that says this and she doesn't want da da da, and it's like,
is it me or is it us?
yeah, like we're a team. So that was a big conversation when we had couples therapy, which I do recommend, is establishing that we are a team, and when we go places, like that's how we function. And so, just for some backstory, he has a nephew that was like 3.5 when we met, and he pretty much helped raise him. And so I've always looked at him like my baby. He's always been my baby, you know. He's about to be 13. I'm going to cry. He is just like, I love him. And so we've always had that relationship, and they've always been like his Curtis's mom has always been like, oh, that's her baby, talking about me like, that's your other mom. And so it was always created this relationship that we were at some point gonna like kind of take that role on and have him under our care. And so that was always the expectation, like this whole time we've been together. And in reality, like she's his guardian. She adopted him and has like full, like that's who cares for him. Did you hear that?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Lightning, thunder.
Child, I was like, who just crashed into your house?
I was like, oh.
Meanwhile, it's like bright blue skies over here.
Not over here. And so years of trying to get him to come and visit us in Texas, of trying to, or even visit in LA, like when we first started dating, it was always a lot of pushback. He came to Texas, I think twice. No one else has. And we had been talking about them moving, the mom, like grandma and the nephew, because like, you know, it'll be closer to us and we can kind of help with that transition. And I made it really clear with Curtis, like I was like, you know, like I'm just gonna be transparent, like his background, the family's background puts the nephew at like a high risk of just like childhood shit, right? You start dabbling into drugs or just making bad decisions because that's what teens do. But when you have like family history of leaning into certain things, it's already kind of like stacked against you. And I was like, he's getting to that age where he needs that like structure, you know? And I'm not saying that grandma's not able to provide that, but it's different because she is so much older, you know?
And there's only so much she can do. Like,
yeah, and like, you know, they've already been starting with the teen troubles, and it's like she can only do so much. She's not used to this. She doesn't know how to, you know, react and respond. And so like we had a conversation with her about it, and she was resistant because she doesn't really want to move out here. She kept saying, oh yeah, but like in reality she doesn't want to move. And I get it, she doesn't want to move, but it's also like, what about us? You know, like we go out there multiple times a year, every year. We've never missed a visit. Even in COVID, we drove in the heat of summer to see his family. And one of them, except Hayden, has been out here. And we've been here, what, 6 years now? Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's just frustrating because
it's unequal.
It's hurtful, and they don't see it, right? Because it takes everything in me to not tell them like that it hurts him. He won't tell you, but it does. That he's had moments, has had bouts of depression because all of his support system is in California. And it's like hurtful. And anytime we bring it up, they just like laugh it off like, I'm not getting on the plane. It's like, okay, if you're that hard up on the plane, fine.
Drive.
You can take a train. There are multiple ways of getting.
There's a bus.
Don't say it's the flight, because it's not the flight. It's that you just don't want to.
Yeah.
Now you have to say to your family, your brother, your son, I don't want to do this work. I don't want to do the work to come see you. It's not on the top of my list. And it's also because I know they do that because we do come consistently every year. And it's like every year I have half a mind to be like, we don't have to go out there then. They don't want to come here. We don't have to go there. But then it's like he's in that position where it's his family and it is the only time he's going to see them. And
that's like operating out of spite instead of like,
yeah.
And we're like healing.
Yes. But like it is a point where like after we had that conversation, I'm like, we wanted her to talk to the nephew about coming out here for high school. And pretty much she brought it up to him and he said, oh, but I'll be far away from you. And she's like, see, and I knew he didn't want to be away from his nanny. And I'm like, so that's the end of the conversation. And so after that, I haven't talked about it. I haven't brought it up. I cried for a few days, like away from him. But I was like, of course he's going to be like, well, how does this work? Like, I'll be away from you. But like, that's your opportunity to say, yes, but you know how we always see them when they come out, then, well, you can always come and visit me. We'll have a set schedule that, you know, but she left
reassurance.
Yeah. He's looking for you for guidance and reassurance that although it may be a different change, it's not a bad change, you know? And so I've stepped back because I was trying to do so much, like, oh, but come out for my graduation, come out for spring break, And I'm like, we'll go out once a year and that's it. If you want to see them, you got to figure it out on your own, but I'm not going to bend over backwards anymore because I'm not getting that reciprocation.
That's okay. That's a really good point. I feel like people constantly forget that relationships are a two-way street. Like, sorry, I just want to make sure that we highlighted that piece because it is so important to remember that the burden can't be all on one side to keep a relationship alive. If the only reason we're talking is because I'm the one that's reaching out or I'm the one that's going to see you, we have a problem here. And it's not until you take that, like, well, I haven't heard from you. And it's like, yeah, but you could have reached out to me. Like, oh, sorry. Ooh. I'm okay. Sorry, I heard that and I was like, oh my God, yes.
Because when we had Lilo, we didn't even have him. It was for the baby shower. So I was still pregnant. And it was me, the mom, and then like another sister, his older sister. And she was like, so when are you going to bring the baby back to see everyone? And I was like, well, she's going to come visit too, right? And the way they reacted was almost as if I was like, I'm not going to come back to see, you know, like it was like hurtful. And I was like, you know us. We always come out here. But are you not going to come out to see him? Like, he's going to feel a type of way that no one comes to see him. And she's like, yeah, you're right. But I'm like, that's not fair that the other grandchildren get to see their grandma for birthdays, for holidays, because they could drive up the freeway. It's not fair. And at a certain point, he's going to get to hip, you know, he's going to become aware of it. And it's just like, it's frustrating because now I have to be mindful of like my child and his feelings. I can only do so much for Curtis's feelings because he is an adult and it is that dynamic where it's like, that's his side, right?
Yeah.
I can't talk to them the same way I could talk to my, like, I don't like how our relationship is in this moment. I want something, because like we've had that, because no one's perfect. And it's like,
no, excuse me, I am, whoa. I'm sorry, you got your facts wrong.
Me and River talked, and he disagreed.
Bring about baby into this.
So yeah, it's just frustrating, but this will be the first year that we go out there in my new mindset. I don't know. I'm tired. It's expensive and I'm tired.
Yeah.
And that was okay, so that was the other part too. Like I'm worried that they're just not being truthful with the reasoning behind not wanting to come out. Like, yeah, oh, I don't want to get on a flight, but I'm like, is the real issue like financial? Is it that
We
it's
tried
like,
that.
okay, child, I tried.
No, like
yeah, also let me try.
Didn't you buy tickets for everyone?
Yes, we
Yeah.
bought tickets. We've offered like, okay, do you want to fly? Like, because we organize that. It's like we have the spare bedroom. It's not, oh, come all this way and sleep on our couch. We have a bedroom with a real bed. We can pick you up. You don't have to get Uber. Like, I offered Curtis to go and fly with her because she hasn't done it before, and I understand how intimidating that is. But
Damn.
and that's like we've checked all the boxes. It's purely it could be the
It's
fear
not a
of flying.
priority. It's not a
Yeah, it
priority.
could be the fear of flying, but like I said, there's the bus, train, driving, there's other ways. You don't want to do the work. Is it gonna be fun and comfortable? No. But
But is it worth it? Is the
it's
result.
not great when I fly all the way to California and have to sit in traffic, but I do it and it's hot.
And it's hot.
It's hot, and the AC laws are not, or the company's different. We get free nights, they don't. So it'd be hot. Like,
Oh.
so, and I always have to kind of like remind him, like, the dynamic is different between my side of the family and his. Like, do you feel welcome? Do you feel involved? He's like, yeah. I was like, I don't always get that. You know, does my mom ever make you feel bad about things? He's like, no. And I was like, yeah. And if she did, I would say something. Like if she said something that I thought was inappropriate, I would say something to her. He's like, yeah. And I was like, that's all I'm asking is if you see it, or even if you don't catch it, but I say, oh, I didn't like that, I just need you to be mindful. So when you see it again, you can be like, oh, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
We don't want this. We did it, as opposed to she doesn't want it because now I'm the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
But
our situations are very similar in that sense because I think like my husband and your husband are very similar in the way that they grew up. It's like we're all up in each other's business. We're always going to be together. And this is just the way that we are. So, oof, child, I feel for you.
yeah.
I feel for you, child.
But no, like, yeah, like touch on that because there is something to it. Like, and he has a lot of sisters, correct?
Yes.
Almost all, right? See, he has majority sisters, one brother.
Same.
And so the dynamic is insane. Like, they're so close and so toxic. It's like,
yes. Okay, yes. Yeah, we have a. Sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off.
No, I'm good. I could go in circles. It's the same conversation we've had for 10 years.
Yeah. And I think, okay, so ours is a little different in the sense that when Lauren and I first got together, I feel like both families were on their best behavior, right? So they're like trying to be nice and welcoming and blah, blah, blah. And as when you're the girlfriend, when you're the fiance, when you're like the wife, like that's a very different lane than when you're now like a parent to a grandkid. Because I feel like they've always tried, his family is very like rough around the edges, like they don't really take things too seriously. They're very much like fly by the seat of their pants. It'll work out kind of just they're kids, they'll be fine, they're resilient, they bounce right back. And so for me, I'm a very anxious person to start. So for me, that was like a hard environment to be in because I did feel like I'm like, oh, I don't know what to expect coming in here. I like to know, what the parameters are. Like, are they going to be screaming at each other today? Is there going to be somebody trying to box somebody else? Like, they would just like be fighting for fun. Like, child. And again, let me just preface this by saying I do love my in-laws. I do. I love my in-laws. I think that there's excellent qualities in everybody in his family. I just think that we're so different. And I was raised in a house of wasps. Like, we didn't talk about anything. You didn't get too loud. You didn't run around. Like, you weren't chaotic. Everything had to be orderly. Like, pretty much like you had to always have that like perfect facade, even if that's not what's under the surface. And so I'm also going to bring in like my family. So my family as in-laws, they're not great. They're not great at all. I feel like they tried this much to like get to know him and be inclusive and stuff like that, but it was very much like both families were very much like you're joining our family, so you should be the one to adapt. And so coming from a waspy ass family to a chaotic family that's large, and they call it clannish, like they're like, we're very clannish, like we like to have all of our people right up underneath us, everybody's going to be doing everything for everybody, we're always talking to each other, he gets like 9 phone calls a day from his family, like, and I'm like, good, I would have to put that phone on do not disturb because I can't be talking to my family that much. So yeah, before it was like very much like dip your toe into the waters kind of thing. So they would try to get me out of my comfort zone and like try to encourage me to like do things that I typically wouldn't. Like, I'm not a daredevil. I don't be doing wild shit. And so that was nice. Like, as an outsider coming in, I thought that was nice that they were like trying to get me to like be part of the group. But there was a very clear line of like, oh no, she's not part of the group. Like, she's a little different. Julia is different. And it's like, I also know better. Like, there's so many things that I know. So I would be like, just relying on like my education or like my career or whatever. So there would be things that I would see, and I'm very much like a see something, say something person. So when somebody would say something reckless, I would be like, actually, that's not how that goes. So I definitely know that I like ruffled some feathers, like I'm not gonna lie. But it wasn't in the intent to ruffle the feathers. It was more like, let's all progress together. Like, if I know, why wouldn't I share my knowledge so that we can all like be moving forward better? Either way. So now that we have our sweet baby boy, it's hard because there are just things that are a no-go for me. Like, there's not any reasoning, there's not any let's figure it out, let's meet in the middle. No, things are no and things are no. Like, that's it. And so that's been very hard to navigate because I have a very clear line in the sand. Like, it's very clear. I've shown everybody where it is, what it entails. And they're habitual line steppers. They're like, oh, but why don't we just do this? And so like one example is that with our baby, we hadn't introduced him to solid foods yet. And they're like, let him eat a berry. It's fine. It's fine. He'll be fine. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, my husband and I are a team. If we want to introduce him to something, we will do it. We are his parents. And so like this like so clearly like sums up the relationship. I think so. What I had to start doing is like when we would be having family gatherings is I would just have to go outside and take a couple laps because I'm like, I need to calm down. There's a lot of energy in this house. I'm anxious. And I'm like on high alert because the baby's new, you know? So I come back in and the baby's crying. And I'm like, what happened? And everyone's like, oh, he's just mad. And I'm like, okay, but what happened? And they're like, oh, and then his mom's like, oh, he's mad that I took his strawberry away. And I'm like, and again, they're like laughing about it. Like, it's so hilarious that we do what we want and you're clearly upset about it. Like, it was, So it's like infuriating. And I had that very similar situation like you, Lorraine, where it's like, no, it's not Julia's mad about this. It's the situation. This is our first child. Why don't we get to decide when he has his solids? Why don't we get to be the ones that enjoy that moment? Like, y'all have had your first. You guys got kids. Y'all already did this. Like, let us be his parents. Like, you don't need to be his parents. We got it. And so, oh, let me calm down a
Yeah,
little bit.
like, and I think people get that, they kind of miss that point, like, oh, he'll be fine. I don't think he's gonna get sick. I
I'm
don't
not
think he's
fire.
gonna have a reaction. I want to have that moment because, like you said, it's your first. Like, we do the whole thing, you do every little thing. It's like, oh, he's smiling now. He rolled
Yeah.
over. Like, that's what you do, and the
Mhm.
first solid is a part of that. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And so it's like, and again, for me, it's the principle too. It's like, if if I haven't done this and you take it upon yourself to do it, what about in 3 years? Like, what is that going to look like when he's 4? Are you guys going to be like, oh yeah, he's totally fine to go ride the horses by himself? Like, where is the line? Because
Yeah.
clearly you're not listening to anything I have to say. You think, and again, you might think you know best, and that's great. You might know best. It's fine. But this is my child. This is our child. Like, let us parent and stop trying to like, I feel like they're trying to push me out of my comfort zone, but also pushing like my son out of his comfort zone too. And I'm like, there are just things that I'm not comfortable with for valid reasons, for typically safety reasons. They're like, let him go on the trampoline. No, not with his older cousins who are wild banshees. Like, no. So there's just like, child. Let me rein it in because I'm getting a little upset. So I think like most recently it's been it's hard because I feel like since I am the person that I am and I'm gonna over communicate. I'm gonna tell you my reasonings why. I'm gonna lay it out. So I'm not trying to be unreasonable, but X, Y, and Z. This is where my mind is going. And so I feel like Lauren has started to not adopt that, but he's starting to kind of do those processes on his own. And so he's starting to recognize, like, oh, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that they let them do that. Like, that's not something I want my son to do. And again, now I think the family is looking at it like Julia's changing him, like you were talking about. Julia is the one pulling the puppet strings. And I'm like, no, we're just like growing up and like growing into our own and realizing that the shit that my husband saw as a child, there's not 1 second that he like of his childhood. There's a majority of it that I would never ever wish on anybody, first of all. And second of all, it's like I don't even want the opportunity for that to come up for our son. So it's like, yeah, I'm being overly cautious, but again, there's reasons behind it. It's not because I just don't like you and I'm like, well, I don't want him going over there. I'm like, well, I don't want him going over there if y'all are going to be yelling at each other. Like, we don't yell in this house. I mean, we get loud. Like, stop doing that. But we're not yelling and carrying on and like not able to control our anger. Like, that's not happening. So the first time that somebody yelled around him, he cried. And so it's like, there are things that I don't want my son to deal with, and that's it. And so they're taking it more as like, this is a personal attack on them. And I'm like, no, it's not about y'all. It's about what I don't want for my son. If y'all could get it under control, he could go over there. But y'all are acting up. So like what am I supposed to do? And so I keep being painted as like the bad guy, and I'm like, I'm ruffling the feathers of the family. And it's like, am I, or am I just kind of holding the mirror up to the shit that's going on? So which one is it? And it sucks too because on my side, my in-laws were trash to Lauren. Like, very dismissive, not welcoming, saying borderline racist shit to my husband. Like, and so he's native. That's the other piece. He's native. They're very much white passing. They are. And so I think that they think that the baby has that similar trajectory, that baby is native and he's going to be white. Not, they're not like proud, like, oh, we're white passing, but it's just part of it. They're just pale natives from the north. And I'm like, yes, this baby is pale. Yes, this baby is native, but this baby is also Black. And I feel like y'all are like, how do I want to say this? Choosing to ignore that. So I'm like, so when these little blonde-haired, blue-eyed babies are running around acting a whole ass fool, fighting, carrying on, doing all this, my little curly-haired baby is not going to be it's not going to be the same reception of his reception. It's not going to be taken the same
That could
way.
be received the same. Yeah.
Received, there we go. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, it's hard when there's a clash of cultures too. They're very proud being native. They're very much like they grew up on the res, like this is part of it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I get that. And I don't want to take that away from him because I feel like for my childhood, a lot of my culture was kind of confusing to me. I was very much like, I'm with a German white family, so that's all I know. So it's like, I don't want that for my son, but I'm also not willing to sacrifice his safety or his well-being just because he needs to understand what it's like to be native, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Because being native is just like how being Black, it's very unique to the person. So it doesn't have to be the dangerous, traumatic experience Lauren grew up with. And it can still, and that is still native. So
Yeah. And his mom is very much like, well, worse happened to me and I'm fine. And that mentality is so dangerous because your threshold for what's appropriate and what's tolerable is much higher than what should be. And then you go into the fact that it's like, well, you say you're fine, but are you like, or is this just conditioning? Or is this just swept under this big ass rug that nobody wants to talk about? Like, so it's very difficult because I'm not trying to disrespect his family. I'm not trying to, I know, especially because I know how much he loves them. Like he's so like you said, Lauren, he's so close to them. It's all they knew. They are like this like entity that kind of goes around life. But if it's not as positive as it could be, where is the line? Like we can't just be like, oh well, that's just how they are. That's what they do. Like that's not an acceptable answer forever. It really isn't. Because I'm like, at what point is it going to be like, oh, it's not okay anymore? Like, child, dealing with in-laws is so stressful. Like, it. And I'm like, is this going to impact my marriage? Like, is this going to start coming between like, because again, I don't, like you're saying, I don't want him to choose between me and his family. Like, that's stupid. But I definitely need an understanding or some sort of clarification that what I have to say about our son matters too. And right now it feels like, they're kind of like neck and neck. And I'm like, not when it comes to our son.
Mm-mm.
When it comes to everything else, sure, your parents can go and be up in the lead, but not when it comes to our son.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But
we love them.
we're on the right road of, I think, space is
Yes.
a great solution
Yes.
because we have that. And although it was always a problem when it arose, it was only those visits, right? It was like, all right, we're about to go there. Remember ABC, okay?
Yeah.
Team. And then it wasn't that constant every day that you have right now. So just keep that in mind. That's the positive.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about our move. Not even just like getting space from the family, but I'm also like, they've been here for so long. I feel like they forgot that there's other stuff out there. Like this little retirement ass, racist ass town is not it. there's diversity out there. There's like people who actually like want to be better. There's people who like give a fuck about what their house looks like and what the front yard looks like. Like it doesn't have to be this. And child, I can't wait to move. I can't wait to move. I can't wait. I was like, yeah, I think space is going to be our number one like win. Like I feel like it's going to help both sides. Because then they don't have to think that I'm like constantly judging them and like constantly looking like, "Whoa, what are y'all doing?" But then I don't have to constantly feel like I have to do that. Or I have to be on fucking red alert because the baby is over there and what is he doing and who's he playing with and what dogs are around, or are the dogs fighting in front of him? Is he gonna get bit? Like it's constant. It is just constant. And I'm, again, like I said, I'm an anxious person by nature. Well, probably by nurture. I'm an anxious person by nurture. And so y'all might not see all of the hazards, but as soon as I walk in, I see 15 different hazards and I'm like, oh, okay, so cool. I love them though. I do want to say that they have been more welcoming and they have put in more effort to try to get to know me and to try to like welcome me as much as they could. Yeah. Than my family. My family was very much like, no, I don't like this. Like,
and
about everything.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you not want to hang out with him?
Yeah,
I know. I was like, he's a really good guy. And like, despite his childhood, despite all the shit he's gone through, despite all of this, he's a really good guy who like wants to do the best he can. And that's pretty rare to find. And so for them to like come in and try to shit all over him, like he's not this like rare gem. I was like, you bitches are crazy. I was like, you're not. Yeah, I was like, first of all, you're not going to talk to my husband any old way. You're surely not. And second of all, you're not going to treat my son the way y'all have treated me. Like that's it. Like there's no coming back. Like if one ounce of disrespect is too much.
So just for in the current state, you're in your family, like you guys don't really have contact?
They've met River once. And that was I don't know how long ago it was, but my mom has not.
Or you mean like your brother?
No, my brother hasn't. My child. That's another story.
So then who in your family?
Like, my Oma and my Aunt Linda and her family have met my.
Wow. So like your whole family. I was thinking just your immediate family.
No, my immediate family hasn't met him. My sister-in-law has met him twice. Yeah. Exactly. But exactly. See, you see the face you're making? That's the face I'm always making. Like, y'all hear yourselves?
Yeah.
But you wanna ask me about the Hulu password.
Stop.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was HBO Max.
Get the name.
So I'm like, I'm tired. And like realistically, like I had the patience for this. I could just eat all the shit that they threw at me. But the second that shit started flying at Lauren, oh, my tune changed real quick. Or as they like to say, I'm brainwashed.
Oh
yeah. That's a different story. That's a different episode.
Definitely gonna come back to that. Yeah. Oh,
yeah, but battling those two like very, very prominent cultures with this biracial baby, like it's gonna be, again, I'm not trying to take, I would love to highlight it all. I want to be able to highlight it all the way. I just don't exactly know how to do that.
Yeah. But your desire, that's the first step, so.
Yeah.
You ready?
This is an episode and a half. My God.
I know. And it's like as you were talking, it was bringing back specific moments, I'm like, this could be a
Mhm.
series.
Yeah.
In-laws
But-
part 2.
Right.
Where to start?
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus.
My ex's family.
This is going to be a very unique experience because it is a dissolved relationship.
Yeah.
So
I think they screwed him up.
Mm.
And let's start from there.
Yeah.
Now, when we first started dating, he was very hesitant on me meeting his mother because he said he was worried that she would say something inappropriate regarding race. And I was like, okay, cool.
I mean, you know your mama.
Yeah. So I think because of that, we met his dad first. And his mom and dad is divorced. And they are each, remarried and been together for years. So yeah. And yeah, so I met the dad first, and then I met the mom. The mom was nice. I did notice a big ass Trump sign in the back of their home.
the dads?
No.
Oh, okay.
The
I was
moms
like,
of them, when we finally met his mom. I saw
Red flags be bright, huh?
but they never made me feel uncomfortable, and I
Okay.
appreciate it. When I met the brother, he was cool too, and his partner and his kid, they were cool too. I think I started to see a few like, oh, okay. I remember one time, that was another one. I went to lunch with his mom, her husband, his brother, and he was there too. And it was a Thai restaurant.
Ooh,
And we're like, okay. And we got our food. And the mom said something culturally insensitive regarding the culture. And it wasn't like even something real. Basically, she's like, should we, like, do we have to say anything before we do? And she did something mocking of the language. And I just remember even the brother looked cringy. And I was like, I think I pretended like I didn't hear it. Because I'm like, what do you want me to say? Because that's not funny. But that's what I mean, like that kind of behavior. And so, yeah. So, yeah.
that sounds like my family, damn.
Like,
some overlap.
yeah. And, I mean, when it really got bad, I think, when I was pregnant with my firstborn. And I realized, you know what, like I started seeing his brother's behavior inappropriate, how he would treat his son, like yelling at him, didn't want to spend time with them. And he's the only child, so it seemed like he was always just like kind of mean to him. And then I thought the relationship between the brother and his wife was weird, just because like it didn't seem like they liked each other. Anyways, and just stuff like that. And me and Joe would talk about it. And he's like, yeah, it's weird. I know. And I'm like, okay, like he noticed it too. But anyways, like over the years, the brother is selfish. The brother is obnoxious. And it seems like when I say his family screwed him up, it seems like they were compared to each other growing up.
Oh.
So I remember Matt.
Someone?
The brother.
The brother.
You're gonna learn how to edit today.
the brother's partner then, she's like, you got the good one. Because I remember they would, say that his older brother was like too crazy and always had an attitude and didn't know how to like control him. But Joe, he was the perfect one.
Mm.
And I remember talking to him about that. He's like, yeah, I do feel that I have to always don't rock the boat because my brother is so difficult. And I was just like, but I see how Joe was affected. He basically will not stand up for anything because he doesn't want to have any type of confrontation with his family, because he's going to feel like that, oh, I'm going to be looked at like my brother.
And that's not his role in the family.
No. But see, and that's where it got really shaky for us, because even though his brother is obnoxious, he's like, yeah, we know he's an a-hole. We just,
Keep it pushing.
we keep it pushing.
It is what it is.
For family, that's how it works. And I'm like, but at a certain point, like, and at that point when he said that, we had our family. I was pregnant with the second one. I mean, you were saying, like, I don't want him to choose. Like, when you talk about Lauren, I don't want him to choose between me. No, I don't ever want that to happen. But know for sure, once you are in a relationship, got babies with a person, that is your new primary family. And you do, in a way, have to make an understanding of who is priority, in the sense of, oh, the woman who is carrying my children, who is taking care of me and my kids, if she's feeling uncomfortable in any way and she's trying to relay that to me, maybe I should respect that and take a look and see how my family is treating her, because I have all this anxiety and I feel this and that, but I'm used to it. But if another person's feeling this type of, negative energy for my family, maybe I should reflect on that. And do I want my sons to have the same upbringing as me? There are so many questions you should ask, but every time when I ask those questions to him, he'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're overreacting. There's something wrong with my family. You don't like my family. I don't like them now, but I was still being very tolerable because I loved the man who I thought was loving me and my kids. But no.
And okay, on that too, I feel like people cannot understand separating behavior from a person. I could have so much love for you, but I fucking hate what you're doing. It's literally that simple. Like, two things could be true at once. Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know what these men have been conditioned to think, that there's only one way to think.
Yeah.
Because to have that, it almost goes hand in hand with boundaries. And if you can't establish boundaries, that concept doesn't even make sense, because why would you even separate the two? Because I know when we would talk about it, it was like, he doesn't want to acknowledge it because that means he's going to have to say something.
Yeah.
So he has to believe they're not doing anything wrong. Because if he says, yeah, I didn't like what he said either, then now it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do about it?
Exactly. We went to our couples counseling. That was a big thing, because he never enforced the boundaries with his brother or his mother. We didn't see the dad a lot, but it was usually just like really the brother who would cross boundaries. And he never wanted to say anything because he was worried that if he ever stood up for something that he believed in, that his brother would stop talking to him.
Let him go.
So
I was like, is that a consequence?
So, but basically, like, the mother sweeps things under the rug, doesn't want to talk about things, doesn't want to face things head on. The brother doesn't think he does anything wrong. And then the father, he is unique. Because he's unique. But I just want to say this. Something happened when we were together. So basically, someone called the city on us regarding our dog, saying that we leave him out all day long. And that's not true. We don't. He's a house dog. Loki, yes. That boy is a prince. He has his own couch inside, AC's blazing, blasting, all that. And it was just funny because we're like, no. And someone came and was like, yeah, can we see your dog? And he's like, just smiling, happy. He had like talk.
He's right here.
Like, picture, yeah. And when the guy left, we're like, that's so weird. Who would call? And then Joe comes strolling in like an hour later. He's like, I think it was my dad. I'm like, why would you think your dad did that? And I guess when his dad came over, Loki was outside at the time because he was barking when we had guests over. And I guess he kept saying, are you going to take Loki in? Are you going to take Loki in? And he's like, no, not yet. So I guess he was probably worried that we left him out all day or something. I was like, why would you think he would do that? And he
And why
said,
would you call the police instead of just, I don't know, having a conversation with your son?
right? I'm like, are you sure? He's like, well, you know what? I remember one time when he went over to my brother's house and he thought the house wasn't like safe for his son, for his grandson. So he was like, I think I should probably call CPS. He didn't, thankfully, but the fact that that thought jumped into his brain, so I'm like,
Yeah, that tracks.
That is unique.
he's a unique person, but it's like these behaviors don't sound like a family who love and respect each other.
Mm-mm.
These are it's screwed up from jump, and unfortunately, Joe never wants to identify that, to see that, you know what, I can love my family, but I can also recognize that the things that they do to me is not okay, and it's okay to distance yourself from them if you need to get yourself right. And then when you know who you are and what you want for your family, then you can reach out again and be more stronger in what you stand for. But he didn't want to do that. And so I really think that was the biggest problem in a relationship, because I think if they lived in a different state, we would probably still be together. Real talk. Anyways,
It honestly, like the tension and the unnecessary drama that gets brought up when the families are not like seeing eye to eye, it's so draining. And I could understand how that could be like, I don't want to freaking deal with this every day. Forever? Forever, ever?
oh God, and like the, Joe being white, we have mixed children, and I always told him, like I just want them to recognize that these boys are black and white. They're not just one race, or just because they look a certain way. Because his brother did say, like, oh, okay, so this is the whole thing. We were at McDonald's. His brother touched Emmett's hair. I got upset because I remember telling everyone not to touch my baby's hair. Respect my boundaries as a mother for my child. Basically said, I didn't hear that. Arguing with me, saying it's not my fault, I didn't hear you, so I can do whatever I want, basically.
But you heard me now. You heard me now when I brought it up again. So
exactly. The correct response would be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, never do it again.
You say, I didn't hear that. And Joe was tight-lipped. It's like he didn't even know who I was. He didn't know what to say. He was, yeah. So as we got home, I'm just upset. I'm telling him, you said you would back me up if there's something ever happened. We agreed on this. Why are you quiet? He's like, oh, I didn't react quick enough. That's it. I was still processing. I'm like, all right. By the time we got home, his brother sent like 5 long-page texts talking about how I overreacted, that he never heard me. Emmett's white passing. He's never gonna have to worry about Black people stuff, and he has hair like me, and da 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 da. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't understand this. Like, why? And because Joe is not confrontational, he agreed with him. And so this is what I mean. Like, it's just unfortunate. Like,
and that's like, again, it seems silly in the moment, but that is a very dangerous thing to try to leech into a child.
mm-hmm.
Hair does not the Black person make. Like, let's start there. Also, there are literally people who are Black who have albinism. So,
yeah.
Yes. What are you? It don't matter how pale you are. Y'all made up the 1-drop rule. Y'all did that.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Let me try a different approach. Like, how about you send your mom and your brother? Like, they had this really cute documentary on HBO, on Max, about,
yeah, what was it called?
I can't remember what it was called, like, but
so good.
It was a documentary about mixed children, and they would ask them there, like, hey, how was your experience with this? What do you feel? And it was really cool. And I just remember him saying, I don't want to put my family out.
So you're gonna put out your sons?
I feel like, especially in what we're growing up now,
Yeah.
you know, in Texas, I don't think it would hurt to ask your family to educate themselves of being, white grandparents to mixed children who are gonna be raised by a Black woman, who are gonna experience different things. And they may want to talk to them about it when they want to be at least ready. And
Yeah.
but just like his whole, he doesn't want to put his family out on trying to be more understanding of his children. And I know it shows red flags in him alone. He not understanding raising mixed children too. So,
And as a child who was raised by white people who didn't, I think that they didn't acknowledge, but I feel like they also didn't know what to acknowledge. Because
and that's okay.
y'all knew my hair was relaxed all the time. All the time. It was if I wanted to look good or presentable, oh, why don't you do your hair? Like little things like that get kind of that they just like trickle into you. Like now, if I want to do a date night with Lauren, I'm like, oh, maybe I should blow dry my hair and try to straighten it. It's even now as whatever old age I am. What am I, 34? Something like that. Like it's still prevalent.
Yeah.
And again, it's not, I bet it wasn't intentional. But if you have the opportunity to educate yourself and you're choosing not to because it's not gonna bother them, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Real quick before I forget, the documentary is 1000% Me, Growing Up Mixed.
Yeah, watch that and cry.
It was funny because it's a comedian, I believe, right?
I think so. He's a document filmmaker, but
yeah, because he used his own family and then he interviewed other families around his neighborhood, and it was like that's really cool.
It was good.
Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, so I mean, these in-laws, his family, I think they put on a front. They just care about appearances.
Yeah.
They don't care about the nitty-gritty. When I went through this whole split with Joe, didn't hear a word from anyone for 6 months. 6 months.
How old is Emmett? I mean, Jensen? He's about to be one. He's about to be one, right? So half his life.
He was 5 months old, and I was raising a 1-year-old on top of that, and never heard anything. When I decided that Jensen was not going to his birthday party at Joe's mom's place, I got a call from her. I missed it, but she left a message, and I thought that was the most funniest thing in the world. This woman has not called me up in 6 months to check to see how her kids are doing, how I'm doing. I thought we were family. I thought we were cool, but he ain't gonna show up for a birthday party. But I haven't seen y'all ever, and y'all don't take care of no. Oh, okay. So you just want to know if you could put up front and use my kid to show that you guys are a happy family. So I was like, yeah.
And I bet, okay, how do I want to say this? I bet that just because I have a very, again, wow, how our crowds been passing. I feel like my family might be like his family in this scenario. And I bet that they use the fact that they have a Black grandchild to their advantage all the time.
I wouldn't put it past them.
But don't acknowledge the fact that they're Black in their own face and in their presence.
Oh my gosh, like I remember when I was holding Emmett, they're like, oh, he's so beautiful. He has the perfect complexion and blah, blah, blah. And thankfully, Joe thought that was weird too. So I'm like, okay.
Because it is.
Because it is weird to say that.
What's a perfect complexion?
And you know what? It's very much that Harry and Meghan where I know that they were like, oh, this baby's going to look Black. Like, he's going to come out brown. But because of our DNA, and you see it with all our cousins, they got a lot of that mixture. So they were like, oh, cool. So we don't have to acknowledge perfect. So like, no. You still have to acknowledge they are Black. Like,
it's just unfortunate because I really think if they lived in a different state, I probably could have worked it out with him. He probably would have gotten the help. Because whenever I suggested therapy, he would say, "Why are you trying to change me?" I'm like, "I'm not trying to change you. I'm trying to heal you from the shit that your family put you
Yeah,
through.
thank you.
Now you're putting our family through it."
Yeah.
And
So
can we talk about the fact that change? When has change been a bad thing? Change might be uncomfortable, but it's inevitable. Don't you want to be a different version of yourself than you were 5 years ago? If I was the same person I was 5 years ago, I'd be sad.
You know?
but,
It's not easy and it don't feel good in the process, but you have to change. Like that's it. There, and I think that that's the piece that a lot of our in-laws have in common is that change is not something that they're interested in, nor are they equipped to handle what that change could lead to. Again, fear of the unknown, fear or satisfaction with what I know and what I have and how I perceive the world now. I don't want that to be ruffled and shooken up by some introspection. Why would I do that? Why would I make myself uncomfortable to make you more comfortable? When in reality, change is good. Thank God for change.
yeah,
Right?
Please, like like I feel like the the reaction to changing, because men do that. Oh, she's trying to change me. Okay, well maybe you're not the best version of yourself that you could be. Wouldn't you want to level up? Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
but that's not
in-laws are fun, huh?
Yeah.
There's something.
There's something.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
I was like, I know, like for us, like for your ex and then for Curtis, they're lucky because their in-law
Yeah.
is pretty low key. They don't
Your
have
mom
that.
is awesome.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
She doesn't make me feel
I
uncomfortable.
know at least for Curtis, like he could do no wrong, which is like a whole nother conversation. But it's like, yeah, be more like that. Like,
She's welcoming. She's inclusive.
but she's also like, I understand that's your relationship and your dynamic. And like, even though it's all very new,
Mhm.
she's just there to be a listening
Yeah.
or support in any way. It's like,
Because this is your family now.
yes. And it's just like understanding the boundaries.
Yeah,
And
boundaries.
learning.
And she's seeing like with the grandkids, like she wants what's best for them. It don't matter what it looks like between y'all. I want what's best for these grandkids, and I'm always gonna stand on that.
Yeah.
And if that means telling you some hard truths, if that means sitting there and listening, if that means whatever that looks like, I'm willing to support whatever is best for my grandkids. And I'm like, why isn't that more common? Oh my God. And we're not being crazy. We're just asking for something different. That's it. It'd be different if I was stomping around here being disrespectful, calling everybody out of their name, pointing in people's faces. No. So why is this the reaction that we get? Like, because I don't do the things that you want me to do or the way that you want them done in my life with my child? You're right. This is going to be a series. This is going to be.
Yes, I was like, because listening to her stories, I was like, that was like scraping of the top.
Mhm.
Not even close. But it's that was good.
I think it was good. I think it was
good.
Yeah. And I bet there's a lot of people who can relate. I bet there's a lot of people who are like, oh my God, that sounds like my mother-in-law. Ooh, let us know. Let us know.
Yes, please. We love that feedback interaction.
Yeah.
Whether it's your current relationship or if you even see it with like your family dynamic of like, it wasn't me, but my mom and her mother-in-law, I saw, and it was messy. So yeah, let us know. I want to hear this.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are we good? Can we?
Yeah.
Do we have any final thoughts?
We gotta regroup after that.
I know. I'm like, wow. But it feels kind of like a therapy session. Like, you know, after you're like fucking drained, but you're like, but there's that spark of hope. You're like, that was rough, but thank God we went through it. Yeah, but we love y'all. We just want y'all to just do better. Like that's it. And I'm not saying that
We're in
I'm
this
not saying that you
together.
yeah. It's not that I don't think that you didn't do the best you could with the circumstances you had at the time raising whoever our other counterpart is. But again, change is necessary. So like stop dragging your feet in the mud and stop being so stubborn and just maybe open your eyes to that maybe we have valid points that aren't brainwashed.
Yeah, we got to come back to that.
So, and that's again the tip of the iceberg. That iceberg tip is small. All right, y'all want to do a question? I think these are the same pile from last week or the week before. Jeez, I need a smiley happy one. Jesus. All right, let's see. Let's pick this one. Oh, okay, this is fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, do you think I believe in the supernatural? What about me informed your answer? Now we could just like do this about everybody, but that's just how the card was written. Thanks. The end. Not sponsored. Yeah.
Okay.
I do think you believe in the supernatural.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why, like, you don't necessarily
You're
like,
kooky.
run around saying things in particular, but
I can see she would respect the undead.
yeah, I feel like you have like a cautious, like,
Yeah.
I don't try to involve myself. Yeah.
Correct. I definitely do believe in the supernatural, but I will not be tempting no fate. I'm not going to haunted places, lighting no candle. Oh,
Yeah,
no
same.
Ouija board.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the ancestors are with us. I respect the energies that exist. I definitely, I go off energies hard. Hard. Because you can tell. But yes.
Yeah.
All right. Lorraine, what do you think about Janelle?
Yes.
My sister, what does she think?
I think she does believe in the supernatural. And because she be talking about it all the time.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but like.
Didn't you watch that show too?
No, we can't have that in the house.
No.
Or
Like, no, I believe it so much that I think if I go see a supernatural movie, that storyline or the ghost that was in that movie is gonna latch on and follow me home.
That's why I say I rebuke it. Like at certain points, I'm like, oh, I rebuke this.
like, oh no.
Yeah. No, yeah. Absolutely.
I think also, I feel like the same exact thing for Lorraine too. But I don't know why. I feel like you have a little bit of curiosity in you where you might go to like a haunted thing. Like maybe.
Yeah, she likes haunted places, and then like she be effing with tarot cards. I just like all that. So I'm like,
tarot cards aren't. I feel like tarot cards aren't. Because I've been messing with my tarot cards, but I need some direction. I'm like, but that's more like universe. The universe.
Janelle's getting nervous. She's like, okay, but where's all this starting
Where are
from?
the cards at?
yes.
Yeah,
so yes, I do. But also I am a baby hoodoo spiritualist. So I would say I'm very in tune where I have an altar. It's my ancestral altar. And like I do believe in like connecting with the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you have to be respectful, like magic is real, spirits, like you saying things and you opening doors and stuff, that is real. Mm-hmm. So I'm very responsible with that. But yeah.
I feel like if there was a scale of like supernatural risk, I feel like you'd be at the top. Like you'd be like, yeah, I'll do something. I feel like I would be like, and then I feel like Janelle would be like, nope.
I think texting you after you guys get home safe and sound.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to go do.
Yeah.
And don't
whatever you're gonna do, just don't tell me about it and just tell me to get home.
Like and Curtis is like we are aligned in that way. Like I like to call him, he is like sensitive is the word. Like he has like spiritual experiences. So but he's like he doesn't know how to like harness it. So he gets nervous trying to like tap in, but he's drawn to it. Like he loves to watch the shows, and we love going to haunted like houses and like tours. So he's very tuned with it, but he just doesn't know how to like
tap into what?
Tap in
to the devil.
Experiences with like spirits.
Leland. If
And-
my nephew gets possessed, we gonna talk. If something happens,
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna talk.
possession is not what they show you on TV.
Okay, is there a
I-
spirit
no,
going in your body?
I feel like there's
You
You
through
have
you?
to get permission. You don't, they just don't jump on you. You have to let them in, and you can, but
Did you guys see that movie Talk to Me?
No, I know what you're talking about. I didn't see it though. I saw the trailer and I was done.
It was terrifying. But it was also like they also portrayed it as like that spiritual possession was like a drug. So it was kind of interesting to see like the dynamics, but
Okay.
also I was so scared. I was like, there's just so much no happening. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not touching a dead crusty hand. I'm not. See that's Janelle. That's where I rebuke this. I would never be in the situation, so I'm fine to watch this movie. Whew, that was a good question. I feel like that was a good clear out some of this negative air.
Yeah.
Yes,
Love
but I mean,
that.
yeah, and also like touching on like Curtis being a little sensitive. I think Lauren is too, but in the sense that he's like the energy's weird.
Mhm.
He was like, he came up to me the other day. He's like, we gotta sage the guest room. I was like, why? He's like, I fell asleep in there and I had some crazy dreams. I was like, done, heard, let's go.
That's real. And I'm sure just being like being so close to his family and the familial like energy and that ancestral energy that like yeah, I'm sure it runs deep. Like hell yeah, come on over with your sage. I got some too, if you need any.
I love my sage. Like, light it up. I love my sage. Okay. Yeah, okay, thank God. Thank you, universe. They knew exactly what we needed.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
do we have a rant, a hack, or a win? Do we feel like we've done enough ranting?
Yeah. She's like,
No.
Lay it
Part
on
2 right now.
I just
Oh,
I
okay.
keep talking about it over and over.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. See, go ahead.
Because there's layers, and it's like I've been dealing with this for so long that it's the tip of the iceberg. Like we haven't even gotten to like the real hurtful shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it makes sense. I do have a win. I've been very intentional about talking to the baby and enunciating because I'm a mumble mouth. Sorry. And so I like, and he's actually like receptive. So this morning, or no, yesterday, I taught him how to say down, how to get down from the bed, or from the couch or whatever. And he came to the bed and he was like, down. And I was like, oh, baby, you want to come up? And he was like, up? I was like, Lauren heard it too. We both were like, what? We're like, this baby's so smart. So yeah, total win. I feel like
That's really
Love
that's
that. He's
that
like,
enunciation, man, it's helping because I'm like, I realized how many words I say, but I'm not saying all the sounds. So I'm like, I don't want you to start saying things incorrectly and then we have to like fix that. So, a little win,
Good job.
so cute.
Good mama.
Love that. Well, yeah, let me dig deep for a win or a hack. Oh, yesterday we were walking, me and Lilo, and he went up 5 steps on the stairs. So he
What?
like got on his hands to kind of help lift his little foot up, and he just kept doing that upstairs. And then like he was holding on to the
Really?
railing, and he got like 1 foot up. It was so cute.
Oh my
That
God.
started making me nervous, so we stopped at 5.
Enough, all right.
Yeah. Really good. I think he sees Emmett doing it, and he's kind of like, move out the way. I
Yeah, I
can do
wanna do
this.
this too.
And I'm like, your little legs, man. They barely make it up. You
so
could tell like
tiny.
he's having to pull himself up. I'm like, yeah,
Aw.
use that body strength.
That's too
Yeah.
cute. Okay. Yeah. That's my ex. I have a win.
Yeah.
So yeah, I realize like me and the boys, we have a routine now for going to bed and waking up. Cause like, I put them down to go to sleep and then we wake up and get ready for daycare and all that stuff and I have to get ready for work. So like it's fun because I sleep with them in the bed, but it's like a really nice big bed how I made it. So what we do is like we turn off all the lights and then I choose a movie for my time. So they can like, okay, this is entertaining, but then they just fall asleep. So we start really great. We watched Jumanji and Jensen went to sleep pretty quickly, but Emmett finished it with me and then he went to bed. And then we did the Goofy movie and Jensen,
Good one.
and then Emmett was like, and he
This
knocked
is
out.
boring.
I was like, oh, good movie. I remember this one. And then like in the morning, they both wake up at the same time, and I'm always the last one to wake up, and they're just like still hanging around me. And then like Jensen just like is so happy in the morning now, and like he looks at me, he's like she's awake, and he starts doing his little jumping, dancing thing. And then we have our breakfast together, we get dressed. Like I do feel like I'm winning in the sense of I don't need what's his face. I and the boys are going to be okay. Yep. And we are connecting so much more, the three of us. And I am just very happy about that because I did worry. And each day I feel like we're getting stronger and we know we can lean on each other. I'm so happy that I know they have each other. And then they have Leland across the hall. And then they're going to have River. And then they're going to have baby boy number,
was it
5?
Oh, well, yeah.
Out of all the boys. So like,
Yeah.
he's always gonna have his family with him, and he's
They could
never
be a boy band.
Right?
Brozone, Trolls 3.
For like y'all better get to singing.
But no, I think we are.
Aw.
And I am happy about that. I love my baby so much, and they make me so proud every day. They are so sweet. Yeah.
I'm like, y'all are worth it or whatever.
Yeah, that's what we do it for. So was it original Jumanji?
Yeah, Rob Williams.
Respect.
Heck yeah.
100%.
I do like the one with Rock.
No. Yeah, I wasn't
but
sure. I'm like,
I love Rob Williams. Like that's my go-to.
We recently watched Shrek, and Baby Boy actually really liked it. He like watched the whole thing. The next day we watched Shrek 2.
It's a good movie.
I mean, I totally forgot about that movie. I was like, oh, I could watch Shrek.
Yes.
I remember it being good. Yeah. So
no, yeah.
check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us winning.
We are. I forget sometimes, but we are.
Yeah. Despite everything, we're winning.
Yes.
I just want to say something.
Oh Lord.
She
At least at the end, so I can cut it out if need to.
No. I just love the microphone.
Yes.
I want that effect.
Yes. Like when you want to talk.
When you do get closer, it makes you want to listen.
Like what you about to say.
This is it. I think it says Zoom.
Okay. I need that.
Because I'm loving it.
Yeah, I got off Amazon.
Both have that.
Get a big old table just like this. But yeah, no. But no, we're winning, and I'm happy for all of us.
Yeah, I love that.
Also, we're all wearing black shirts. That was like not planned, but here we
A
are.
workout shirt too. So I was like, yeah.
Look,
Is that Beyonce?
it sure is.
I was like, I can't tell. I was like, I keep seeing blonde hair, and then I'm like, it looks like Beyonce's eyes, but
It's off her the new Cowboy Carter line merch.
we did it, guys. We did another episode. Thanks for anybody who's still here listening.
Yeah.
Like, follow, subscribe, share, talk to us.
Yeah, tell us your in-law stories or your supernatural. Oh my God, your supernatural stories. I'll make the fuck out of that.
Are we gonna have a episode? Okay, I'll come back to that.
October.
That would be so fun. Ooh, that would be so fun.
Okay.
Ooh. Getting this boy band ready.
Okay. Let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Bye, cuties.
Close us out, Julia.
Oh my goodness. Well, thanks for listening and, following us on our journey.
Do you have a quote?
Oh, shiz. I was like, okay, bye. I do. Here I am. Let me pull it
She was
up.
like, oh, I can close it out.
Oh, okay. Actually, this is very good. Okay. So as we go into this next week, just remember, I plan to look the best I've ever looked, make more money than I've ever made, and love myself more than I ever did.
Like that.
I do like that.
I'm like, we're just winning. All the doors are opening for us, all the coins.
Oh,
Love that.
I love it.
All right. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.